Welcome back, history buffs. Today, we dive into one of WWII's most fascinating units, the Ghost Army. Formed in 1943, this top-secret unit used illusion, trickery and creativity to deceive and outsmart the enemy. Forget brute force. This was a war waged with wit and inflatable tanks. Yes, inflatable tanks. The Ghost Army staged over 20 daring operations across Europe, playing a pivotal role in significant Allied victories. From Normandy to the Rhine, their phantom presence wreaked havoc on German intelligence, saving countless lives. How did they do it? Stay tuned as we unravel the secrets of the Ghost Army. Prepare to be amazed by their audacity and impact on history. Picture 1943, the height of 22. The world is engulfed in a conflict of unprecedented scale and ferocity. Allied forces are locked in a deadly struggle against the Axis powers, fighting on multiple fronts across Europe, Africa, and the Pacific. Behind the front lines, a new kind of unit is taking shape: the Ghost Army. This unit was unlike any other, born out of necessity and creativity. This hand-picked group of 1,100 soldiers came from art schools, advertising agencies, and design studios across America. They were chosen for their unique skills and talents. These were not typical soldiers. They were artists, architects, sound engineers, and radio operators. Their backgrounds were as diverse as their mission was unique. Their mission to create the illusion of a much larger force. They were tasked with deceiving the enemy, making them believe that the Allied forces were stronger and more numerous than they actually were. Their weapons, inflatable tanks, sound trucks, fake radio transmissions, and theatrics, these tools were used to craft elaborate deceptions. The brainchild of Colonel Billy Harris, a former advertising executive, the Ghost Army was a testament to unconventional thinking. Harris understood the power of perception and illusion. Harris understood that in war, perception is everything. The ability to mislead and confuse the enemy could turn the tide of battle. Their training was as unconventional as their mission. They learned the art of deception, mastering techniques that would make their illusions believable. Stationed at Camp Forest in Tennessee, they honed their skills in deception. This remote location provided the perfect setting for their secretive training. They learned to mimic the sounds of tank battalions and artillery fire, erect dummy installations, and craft misleading radio messages. Every detail was meticulously planned and executed. The Ghost Army's success relied on creativity, ingenuity, and audacity. Their ability to think outside the box was their greatest asset. Under the cover of darkness, they would inflate massive rubber tanks and position them strategically. These operations were carried out with precision and secrecy. These meticulously crafted decoys fooled even the most discerning eye from a distance. The enemy was often left bewildered and misled. They fabricated fake tire tracks leading to and from these dummy installations. These tracks added to the realism of their deceptions. The Ghost Army also deployed sophisticated sonic deception. Sound was a powerful tool in their arsenal. Giant speakers mounted on trucks blasted recorded sounds of tank engines and artillery fire. These sounds created the illusion of a formidable force. Their most potent weapon was manipulating information. They used radio transmissions to spread false information and mislead the enemy. The Ghost Army's radio operators sent out coded messages designed to be intercepted by the enemy, often sending entire enemy divisions on wild goose chases. Their efforts were instrumental in several key operations, contributing to the overall success of the Allied forces. To understand the Ghost Army's success, we need to delve into their strategy: military deception. This was a sophisticated art form that required not just creativity, but also a deep understanding of human psychology and enemy tactics. This wasn't just about creating a good illusion, it was about understanding the enemy's mind and exploiting their weaknesses. The Ghost Army had to think like their adversaries, predicting their reactions and planning accordingly. The Ghost Army were masters of psychological warfare. They knew that the mind could be a powerful weapon, and they used it to their advantage, creating scenarios that would confuse and mislead the enemy. They used atmospherics, carefully orchestrated scenes to create the impression of a larger force. This included everything from fake tanks and artillery to entire campsites that looked bustling with activity. Small groups of soldiers mimicked the behavior of a much larger force, setting up camp and moving supplies. They created the illusion of a massive army on the move, complete with the sounds and sights of a real military operation. They fabricated fake insignia, patches, and unit markings, adopting the guise of real Allied divisions. This attention to detail was crucial in making their deceptions believable. The Ghost Army often operated dangerously close to the front lines to sell their illusions. They had to be convincing enough to fool the enemy, even if it meant putting themselves in harm's way. They were often shelled, strafed by aircraft, and faced the constant threat of being overrun. Despite these dangers, they remained committed to their mission, knowing that their success could save countless lives. One former Ghost Army soldier recounted setting up a dummy airfield near the front lines. The level of detail they put into these deceptions was astounding, from fake planes to entire airstrips. The deception was so convincing that the Luftwaffe launched an air raid on the fake airfield. This was a testament to the effectiveness of their tactics and the thoroughness of their planning. These deceptions were the result of meticulous planning and a deep understanding of German military doctrine. The Ghost Army had to anticipate every possible reaction from the enemy and plan their operations accordingly. The Ghost Army studied enemy troop movements and communication patterns. They gathered intelligence and used it to create scenarios that would mislead the enemy, making them believe in the presence of large Allied forces where there were none. They spread rumors and planted false intelligence through captured enemy soldiers. This was another layer of their deception, creating a web of misinformation that the enemy would struggle to untangle. Their aim was to create a web of deception so believable that the Germans would be paralyzed by indecision. By making the enemy question their own intelligence, the Ghost Army could manipulate their movements and strategies. They became masters of manipulating the information battlefield. Every piece of false information was carefully crafted to fit into a larger narrative that would mislead the enemy. The Ghost Army turned the enemy's own intelligence apparatus against them. By feeding them false information, they could control the flow of intelligence and create a reality that suited their strategic goals. Sonic deception and rubber tanks, the tools of the trade. Let's explore the ingenious tools and techniques the Ghost Army used to hoodwink the enemy, a masterclass in wartime deception. Central to their arsenal were inflatable tanks, jeeps, and artillery pieces, which were essential in creating the illusion of a formidable force. These meticulously designed decoys were crafted from lightweight fabric and inflated using powerful air compressors, making them quick to deploy and easy to move. From a distance, they were nearly indistinguishable from the real deal, fooling enemy reconnaissance and aerial surveillance. The Ghost Army's bag of tricks was deep and bizarre, filled with unconventional tools that played on the senses. They utilized sound trucks equipped with massive speakers to create aural illusions, simulating the sounds of large military units. The roar of tank engines and artillery fire emanated from seemingly empty forests, creating a convincing auditory mirage. These sonic deceptions often drew enemy fire, allowing Allied forces to pinpoint German positions and plan their next move strategically. The Ghost Army pioneered the use of fake radio traffic, a groundbreaking tactic in psychological warfare. Skilled radio operators transmitted misleading messages, creating the illusion of troop movements and supply lines, confusing the enemy. These radio transmissions were carefully scripted performances, designed to be as authentic as possible. They mimicked the radio chatter of tank units on the move, adding another layer of deception to their operations. Their tactics were varied, always adapting and innovating to stay one step ahead of the enemy, ensuring their deceptions remained effective. These artists, engineers, and technicians took immense pride in their craft, understanding that their illusions could save countless lives and turn the tide of the war. D-Day to the Rhine, the Ghost Army in action. The Ghost Army's impact on the war can't be overstated. They were deployed in numerous operations, playing a crucial role in pivotal battles. Their first major operation was in support of the Normandy landings in June 1944. Tasked with diverting German attention, the Ghost Army set up an elaborate ruse near Pas-de-Calais. They deployed inflatable tanks, dummy landing craft, and fake radio chatter. The deception was a resounding success, weakening German defenses at Normandy. Over the next year, the Ghost Army participated in over 20 operations. One daring operation involved protecting the flank of the advancing US 2nd Armored Division. The Ghost Army created the illusion of a larger force holding a critical section of the front line. Another notable operation saw the Ghost Army deployed near Metz, drawing German forces away from the city. Using sound trucks, dummy installations, and fake radio transmissions, they simulated a large American force. Time and again, the Ghost Army proved their worth through cunning and creativity. The unsung heroes, artists on the front lines, the Ghost Army was unique due to the skills and backgrounds of its members. These weren't just soldiers, they were artists, architects, designers, sound engineers, and radio operators. Recruited from art schools and design studios, their creative talents were invaluable. They brought a unique perspective and a knack for problem solving. They crafted realistic-looking patches, painted fake unit markings, and mimicked Allied units. Some created visual illusions using camouflage netting and inflatable decoys. Others specialized in sonic deception, creating convincing battlefield noises. Radio operators used their skills to weave intricate webs of misinformation. These artists and technicians played a vital role in the Allied victory. Their story is a testament to the power of human ingenuity and unconventional thinking. Fading echoes, lasting impact, the legacy of the Ghost Army. The Ghost Army fought with wit, ingenuity, and audacity. They proved that creativity and imagination could be powerful weapons. If you found this deep dive into the Ghost Army fascinating, give this video a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe for more incredible stories. Thank you for joining me on this journey into WWII's most secretive and innovative unit. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the spirit of curiosity alive.